Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. If you guys watched my last video, this is actually the same race, but we're going to go in depth a little bit more, and it's going to be a totally separate video. So here we go, right off the start. Oh man, I got lucky there. James and Silas got together, so now I'm in the lead, and we're going to go into the woods and try to get this lead and make it bigger and keep going for it. Yeah, so like I said, this video is going to be totally separate. In this one, I'm going to show more of the technical stuff and more of the track, and then I'm also going to show just the important things that happen kind of throughout the race. So here we go, kind of in the first technical little downhill there, had a little switchback, and then had to go up this hill. The dirt was actually really slick going up here, so you had to be really careful on the throttle. And then these hills here had some like shelf rock and just some like chunky, weird rocks that were like super slick. So once again, just had to be really careful on throttle. And you may be able to hear by now that Cole made his way back to second behind me, so you can hear him behind me probably. Alright, here we go out to one of the field blasts here. And you can hear Cole right there behind me. Man, I was like, guard the inside, and then he just decides right up the outside. Might as well if you can, but didn't really work out for me there. Get a nice face full of roost there, why don't you? These chunks of rocks don't feel the best. Trust me on that one. Alright, so last little hill here, gonna head up it, and this one has like a little bit of a shelf in it, and it was like carved out pretty good, so it wasn't too difficult, but definitely if it didn't have that shelf in it, it would have been really off camber and super hard to get any traction going up it. Probably got a few dings in my pipe from all these rocks hitting me here. It was pretty brutal. Alright, here we go back into the technical stuff here. This section was actually one of the flowier, kind of faster, more open, I guess you could say, of the whole track. So overall, though, the track like worked in to be pretty fast and pretty upbeat. There was just some really, I don't want to say hard stuff, but sections that were more advanced that kind of broke it all up and made it slow down quite a bit. So this is the PM only section, so only the B classes and above ride this. So we're just working our way up this hill. It was a lot more loose than a lot of the other stuff, just because there hadn't been as many riders going up it, so that made it a whole new level of difficulty. This little section here you also had to be careful on. There was like some slab rocks on it, so if you got your tire just 1 inch on those, it was downhill and you were going to find yourself in the valley down there. Working our way up through this little valley here was super fun, just weaving in and out like a snake, and just flowed really nice. Alright, so we kind of went through that field and had a little grass section there, and then went back down into another valley, and we're going downhill now, so kind of the opposite direction. This section of the track was probably one of my favorites. Down a pretty cool rock ledge there, waterfall thing. There was even kind of a landing rock that you could land on, kind of keep it smooth and not just flat land. So that was super cool. Once again, this whole section here, going down the hill and up it, had a whole bunch of slab rocks and just really big, chunky, in-the-ground rocks. So once you got on those rocks, it was kind of just like ice because there was moisture on them and all the dirt. So there wasn't much you had to do. Just keep your momentum up going through them. Popped the creek there, and this was right after I just wiped the camera off, so got a little spot of dirt on it. And now up this hill here, it was pretty cool. It had like a stump and then at rocks we could just like hop and then kind of land on the throttle and keep going up that hill. But it was also, you know, that off camber, so you didn't want to land on it too hard to just slide out and go down the hill. It was also super nice on some of these hills having like a berm or a rut to be in, just kind of guide you up it and help with traction quite a bit, because you can just kind of lay on the throttle and smooth going up it the whole way. so another one of those hills, kind of similar to some of the other ones I've talked about. And in this one, oh man, I about washed the front end, just about lost it on one of those big rocks. But luckily the 300 grunts pretty good, so I was able just to barely make my way up that hill and just creep up it. Alright, so we're coming up on, I think, what was the hardest hill of the day, and I think it made it hard just because it had a switchback in it, and it just made it difficult to carry your momentum up it and just keep going up it. So Cole up there hit it pretty good. He was able to kind of pop the clutch, get traction, and almost just like hop up it, but I kind of lost my momentum and once again just had to kind of creep up it, but we made it and made it through. That's really most of the technical stuff there. We got a little bit more coming up, but these hills here weren't too technical, just pretty fast and had some flow to them, nice ruts, so you could kind of lean it in and get through them a little easier. Alright, on to a new lap, and Cole washes it out. Back end just went a little wide on him and spun around, so we find ourselves back into the lead now. If you guys want the full details on kind of more of the racing rather than the trail, be sure to check out the last video. And we'll talk about more of this. Yeah, so be sure to check out that video. I'll put a link somewhere. But in this video, I just wanted to go over the trail since it was such a cool trail and something that we don't normally get to race on. And yeah, so now that I crashed there, Cole got back in front of us and he was able to kind of run away with it, and wasn't really able to bounce back after this and really catch my flow. So just had some other struggles and kind of a disappointing day into the day after getting in the lead there and hoping to continue to lead. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you this weekend at the GNCC.